All right, welcome to the channel here. I have been attempting to film a training week. Let's just say it's going very mediocre on my ability to actually film it. A lot of that has to do with just timing and energy, a lot of reasons. So I am going to walk you through kind of where I'm at right now, and I have no idea what's going to make it into this. Yeah, into everything. So I did start filming on Sunday. So we're starting this kind of on Sunday, which was Sunday the 29th of June. And yeah, we're just going to try to walk you through a little bit of what's been going on. So Sunday, I had a volume ride, and I was able to actually get outside. So I left the house at 4:50 in the morning and got outside for a little volume ride. I did 52 miles, nothing crazy, 2.5-ish hours. Ended up, the intensity factor was pretty low. Heart rate, I kept under 130, which is kind of exactly where I wanted it to be. And yeah, just went out for a little ride. And it was... we had a headwind on the way out and a tailwind on the way back. It did get hot really quick, so we are, it's Arizona. It's hot here. We've entered the phase of life where it was 90, or it might have been a little cooler on Sunday. It was, 80 some degrees when I started, and when I finished the entire session, it was 95 degrees. So it got hot pretty quick. But hey, we're in Arizona. It's the way it is. I then immediately went into a 40-minute run off of the... I'm out here running. Took a run off the bike. It's like a million degrees outside. I'm hot as fuck. It's so... I've had to really adjust my effort because it feels really hot out. But we're getting it done. All right, day done. I'm not driving right now for anybody who's going to freak out. I'm just sitting in my car about to drive because the air conditioning is on in here and it's 1,000 degrees outside. Good day. 2.5 hour ride with a 40-minute run off the bike, and I did 10 by 30 seconds, just smooth strides. It is very warm out. I don't know what the temperature is. I'm assuming it's about 100 degrees out, and it's 9 a.m. I started at 5:30 this morning when it was already 85. So I'm very warm and I miss my kids. I want to go home. So I'm going to go home and snuggle my babies and spend the rest of the day with them. All right. See y'all later. Run. I've been doing very polarized training, so this was a very, today was just a volume day. 2.5 hours on the bike, 40-minute run off the bike. I did 5 miles. I did end up doing 10 by 30 seconds, like smooth strides, and this was because I missed a speed session earlier in the week. The last couple of weeks I have been doing a lot of solo parenting. Brandon has been traveling more for work in the last 2 weeks, and then my parents were gone, so they were unable to, just not around for help. So there were a couple of days I had to do a lot of days of, just stroller running and trying to get done what I could when I could, in between nap times and etc. And one of the days that I had 400s planned, I just didn't have the energy to do them with the stroller. So I did miss a speed session last week, and so I added those in. Yeah, and then we moved into Monday. Mondays tend to be my recovery day. I usually only swim and then do a strength session, and then that's what I did. So I had a volume swim. It was an easy aerobic. I did 4K, so 4,100 yards. I swim in a short course yards pool, but it is hot. It's summertime in Arizona, guys. It's hot. Air temperature, even in the morning, was 90 plus, and the water temperature easily was 85 plus, would be my assumption. It could have been even hotter. I don't really know what the water temperature is, but it was hot. And that definitely is affecting my swimming. I'm noticing I just have a harder, it feels like you're swimming through syrup. So I did 2 rounds of 4, 3, 2, and 1. Those are all hundreds. Just easy aerobic, solid, smooth pace. I was really happy with how that swim actually went. Swimming's been being a little bit frustrating for me lately, where it hasn't felt great. And then honestly, this probably has to do with the heat. I've also, swimming has been kind of the slowest to come back for me after having Kaya, and it's come back a lot, but I am still not to where I was. But this felt really good. Like I felt like I could have kept swimming, which was awesome. I then followed it up with about 30 minutes of strength work. That is all I had time for in the afternoon. She woke up from her nap a little bit earlier, and she only sat with me for a little bit while I did strength. That moves us on to Tuesday, which was yesterday. At the last minute, Brandon had to be gone all day, so I was not able to do the swim that I had scheduled. I started really early. I did get in my building to VO2 in long stride session. This was basically 12 by 400, and I progressed to the 400s 1 to 3 each time.
All right, Tuesday morning. Run done. It's already 90. It was 90 degrees at 5:45 when I started this morning. Well, I actually started like 6, but thank goodness it was really hazy early. It kept the sun from like beating the crap out of me. And just now starting to get really, really hot. So I did progressive 400s. And yeah, they went really well. So I'm super thirsty, so I just want to go home.
This went really well. Again, it was 90 degrees out when I started, and at 5:45 a.m. It didn't feel too hot until the very end, so that's really good. Ended up being a total of 9 miles. And then because I wasn't able to swim, but I had some time and she took a really good nap, I was able to get in 1 hour on the bike. Instead of my swim, I was able to get an hour on the bike on the trainer while she was napping. I would have loved to have gotten more in, but that's about all I could do was the 1 hour. That brings us to today. Again, I was on my own today with Brandon having a work function, and all I could get in today was a stroller run. So I did 5.6 miles stroller running. Man, stroller running is really hard, y'all. I really struggle with it. I find it very challenging. But girl and I are getting ready to go for a little run. And so I figured I'd show you kind of what I do to help keep her cool while we go on these runs. So yeah, she's really excited. She loves running. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so what I've got here we have the Thule Glide stroller. This thing is amazing. Love it. But what I help keep her cool is I've got this really amazing gel pad right here that you can either put in the freezer for a short bit or in the refrigerator. We keep ours in the refrigerator kind of all the time, and it can go in her car seat or in the stroller. And then I do put something down over the top of it just so she's not sitting on something really, really cold. So this is a really thin blanket. It's actually like the hospital blanket. So this stays cool underneath her, which is really, really great. So she stays nice and cool. And then she's also protected. This helps kind of protect her head a little bit more. And then the other piece that I do is this little fan here. It's a cooling fan. And let's see, let's turn it up. Oops. There we go. And then that just helps circulate the air in here for her. And now she's probably more comfortable than I am. Are you ready to go? Yes. Should we go for a run? Yeah. All right. We're off. We're going to head out for a little run. Hi. Did we have a good run? Yeah. Yeah.
It was fun, huh?
Stroller runs, and they've been a lot of fun so far. So that's where we are at the moment. We're heading into the rest of the week, where I'm hoping that I can make up that swim that I missed on Tuesday, tomorrow, and we've got some bike sessions, some runs, etc. I will update you guys with the rest of it as we kind of continue on. But so far it's been a decent week. Probably not exactly what I would have liked it to be, but we're here, we're managing, we're doing the best that we can, and just knowing that this is just the time and space of life that I'm living in right now. So good morning. It's Thursday. We are getting ready for a bike session here. Today is VO2 day on the bike. We do about one of these a week. It's one of my favorite sessions. Last week it was 15 by 1 minute on 40-second rest. Today is 18 by 1 minute. I'm running late. I needed to have gotten started about 30 minutes ago. But the baby woke up with me when I woke up, and it just is a lot harder for me to get going quickly when she wakes up at the same time as I do. I just move slower, she requires work, etc. So, all right, we gotta get going. Let's go. All right, so let's finish up chatting about last week here. Today is actually Monday of the next week, but we're going to finish kind of chatting about the week last week. So last week I finished out the week at about 15 and a half hours. It was still like a little bit probably lower. I've kind of been averaging closer to like 16 and a half prior to my recovery week that I had. The last 2 weeks have been about 15. So I think when I last chatted with you was Wednesday, and I moved into Thursday, which we did a VO2 max session. We've been doing these every week and just kind of progressing them each week each week gets harder and harder. We're now on 60 seconds, so it's like started at 20 40s, and then 30 30s, and then 40 20s, and then 60 45, etc. So this week was 18 by 1 minute on 40-second recovery. So about a 2-hour session total. It went really well. Baby's waking up. Well, let's see if she kind of settles for me here for a minute. And then I finished out the day with just a aerobic tech set swim, just easy, low-key swim. I only did 2,600 yards. Then the next day was an easy aerobic ride. I tried to keep the watts kind of closer to like 120, 140 watts, which on the trainer is hard for me to do. I don't ride as high watts on the trainer as I do outside. I also didn't have a fan for that ride, which meant that I sweated like 7,000 buckets of sweat because it was so hot in there. And that was about a 2-hour ride as well. And finished that day up. I did a threshold swim in the morning, which honestly was really messy. It didn't go well. I couldn't get in sync. I had this weird breathing pattern where I breathe too long. I breathe late and too long. And when I can't get it right, I can't get it right, and I couldn't get it right. So that was Friday the 4th, and then that moved us into Saturday, where I did a threshold. Saturday tends to be threshold runs for us. Good morning. We have a run here soon today. Well, now. It's been a while since I've raced, obviously, and Boise's coming up here in a couple of weeks, about 3 weeks to be exact. And so I am testing out race shoes. In previous iterations, I have yet to find a carbon shoe that I like. I've talked about this before. I have a really hard time with carbon shoes. I liked the Sauconys a while back, but now the new version, the toe box is too wide for me. So today I'm testing out the Ons. I did not like the Ons previously. The Echo Boom really hurt my feet, but these feel a lot better so far just from wearing them around in the house. So we're going to test them out today. I have some speed work, so we'll see kind of how that all feels with doing some speed work. So I have 6K repeats. I only wear carbon shoes when I race. I never wear them for training, except for when I need to make sure that they will work for me. So you really shouldn't be wearing carbon shoes except for maybe every once in a while for a boost and or for racing. So, all right, let's see how these go. So I did a threshold set 6x1K. It was really humid and hot out. I had to really measure the UV index was 11 out of 10 at 6 in the morning. I got started about a half hour, 45 minutes later than I would have liked.
Hi. 6x1K done. It's hot as balls out, and it's super humid. That was hard. Mostly I just think I ran out of energy from the heat, not of water. And it's so humid out, I am so sweaty. But I only fell off on one, and then I got the others back. Whew. Alright, time to jog home. Which meant that it was really hot. So I did 6x K, went pretty well, kept most of them at under 4 minutes per K, so it was about 6, we'll say average is 6:45. Some are faster, some are slower. I don't have a track, so I don't do these on a track. I do these on the road, and it's rolly, and so it's not flat, so it's a little bit hard to totally tell. Finished out the day with a strength set swim, 3,400 yards, a lot of paddle work, and just medium effort, nothing crazy, very aerobic and strength based. Then went into Sunday, which finished out the week with I did a 45-minute stroller run with baby girl in the morning, and then I did 2 hours, 20 minutes of volume plus sprint. So basically this was just an easy ride, and then every 10 minutes I threw a 10-second get out of the saddle, push it, balls to the walls, go hard sprint. To really goal of that was just to kind of work your anaerobic and fire up your type 2 muscle fibers. And it also kept it interesting because 2.5 hours on the trainer, because I couldn't get myself out of bed in the morning, or I got myself out of bed, but I couldn't move fast enough, and the baby was awake, and it just made it really hard. So I ended up doing 2.5 hours on the trainer in the afternoon. It's too hot here in Arizona to do long rides like that in the morning, in the afternoon. So, all right, I gotta go get the baby. See y'all later.